奥运会是全球体育界的盛会，奥运电竞自然也承载了国际奥委会的愿景。虽然奥运会因种种原因从来没有加入过赛车运动，但电竞赛车成为了第一个突破点。极地赛车7作为国际汽联的合作伙伴，在今年再度成为了奥运电竞的赛车项目承办方。今年第2届奥运电竞的赛车项目海选阶段比赛已经在5月8日结束。由于今年的海选规则去掉了大洲保底名额，整个亚洲除主办方新加坡外，仅有日本和黎巴嫩突出重围，进入最后的线下决赛。日本是老牌赛车强国，自不必说。黎巴嫩的晋级，一方面是中东近几年 GT 电竞蓬勃发展的缩影，另一方面，无论是在地理位置还是在文化上，它都离欧洲更近。在中国，两岸三地共有1000多人参与了海选。最终，来自青岛的李运宏拼尽全力，位列中国第1，世界第58。虽然遗憾未能晋级，但在两岸三地位列第1，已经实现了高强度竞争下的突破。毫无疑问，本届奥运电竞不仅是极地赛车史上最卷的赛事，同时也是本届奥运电竞10个项目的选手参与热度之最。上一届奥运电竞由于是在即将退出历史舞台的 GTS 上比赛，参与人数仅38000多人。而参与本届比赛海选的玩家达到了创纪录的16万人，不仅远超上届奥运，也超过了历史上的 GT 学院海选人数。再加上每个国家或地区只取1人晋级，意味着即便排名靠前，也无法确保突围，导致海选期间赛车强国如意大利、法国、日本的晋级选手频繁更迭。可以说，这次的全球竞争强度确实够得上奥运会的水平。那么在如此程度的竞争下，我们将欣赏到怎样的赛车电竞比赛呢？正式比赛将在6月25日于新加坡进行，而上届奥运电竞作为同样规则的赛事，是个很好的参考。大家好，我是欢乐仔 Racing Raymond， 在这个视频里，我们就完整回顾一下首届奥运电竞比赛。第1届奥运电竞在2021年举办，是给东京奥运会提前造势的电赛。官方名字不叫奥运电竞，而是奥运虚拟系列赛。海选阶段，组委会选择了 GTS 中的东京高速赛道，使用丰田 Supra 统规赛车进行单圈排位。海选有地区保底名额，亚洲一共有4个。虽然最终没有中国大陆的选手突围，但来自中国香港的周天浩利用每天的业余时间练车，在海选截止前绝杀同样来自中国香港的老牌强手黄启轩，成功挤進決賽，成為 GT 賽車世界賽場的一張新面孔。
好興奮咯，好開心咯！嗰陣時一知道個時間一完咗，知道可以出線，係非常之開心。
這裡得先疊個甲，由於歷史原因和各種國家大政方針，以國際奧委會的規則，中國香港以單獨地區的身份參加奧運會賽事。建國後歷屆奧運會皆是如此，這也是中國奧委會所承認的。因此，極地賽車也適用同樣的規則。好，疊甲完成，我們繼續。2021年還在疫情期間，搞線下決賽不太現實，因此決賽最後採用了線上比賽，預先錄製完成，再在奧運會的官方渠道作為5個電競項目之一錄像播出。決賽一共有3場比賽，前2場距離較短，正常積分；最後一場距離較長，雙倍積分。同時，每場的桿位和最快圈都能額外拿到1分，最終按照總積分排序決出名次。由於國際奧委會沒有實存賽道的電競比賽授權，比賽都使用了 GT 的原創賽道。第1場比賽在與海選不同的另一條東京高速上進行，賽道特點鮮明，一個超長大直道，2個回頭彎，剩下幾乎全部是高速彎，非常考驗選手的跟車能力。排位賽中，來自德國的土耳其裔選手海澤爾奪得桿位，他曾獲得2019年 FIA GT 錦標賽的總冠軍，實力不容小覷。在他身後的法國選手博瓦秒差僅 0.07 秒，而分別獲得了2020年和2018年錦標賽冠軍的公園拓真和伊戈弗拉加緊隨其後。意大利選手加洛第5發車。正賽只跑7圈，僅能使用硬胎，所以這會是一場一跑到底的大混戰。 OK， 比赛开始。比赛的高光集锦，我们就主要听原声解说吧。
leads the field away from pole position as they all duck into the slipstream and try to get an advantage on one another, coming down towards the first corner. So Hazal leads the way from Beauvoir, from Miyazono. It's a really long run down towards that first corner, though, so we could see positions already changing as they come out of the tunnel into the darkness. Then the headlights flicker as they go over to the right-hand side of the circuit and head in towards the right-hander of turn number 1. And look at the closing speed of Baptiste Beauvoir and also Igor Fraga from behind there, as well as Valerio Gallo tries to pull out of the slipstream. Running on board here with Fraga, who's got a grandstand view now. Beauvoir is side by side with Hazal on the brakes into the first corner. The Frenchman tries to go the long way around the outside as they hustle through the first turn, and Beauvoir leads as they come out of turn 1.
Yeah, great move there by Baptiste Beauvoir, just going around the outside, making the grid work. It almost doesn't really matter, to be honest, Tom. You can see in the track map on your top right-hand side there just how long this straight is. So there's a good chance to hop into the toe as Igor Fraga has now. That means the car in front is punching a hole in the air, and Igor Fraga is following in it. Here's Mick Hazal. That's what that slipstream looks like. There's no point on lap 2 here. Mick Hazal will reclaim the lead for now, but this is a duel that's going to go on right to the very end of the race.
Well, this is going to be a straight-up fight in this race as well, because there are no pit stops. There's no strategy for these drivers to consider as well. So how tactically do you decide what to do when you're in this race about getting past your fellow competitors?
It's 250 km/h chest, Tom. That's what that is, as we're seeing now as they go 2 by 2 into the first corner. Hazal on the inside, Beauvoir on the outside. He's going to run out of room very soon. No, Hazal, though, respectfully giving him racing room, and Beauvoir darts back in front of the German driver. It's so great to have that shot there, watching them all get inches away from the wall.
So this is where we're going to see positions changing once again as the drivers come through the tunnel down this really long straight. These are Group 4 cars within the Gran Turismo Sport video game, so they're not the quickest machines out there, but they do pack a punch. And this, of course, being exactly the same car that the drivers are using, they're identical. It's spec racing, so it makes it really, really close. This is Hazal takes over the lead, but look at the slipstream. Takuma Miyazono's going to drive through the middle of them both, and he is going to head over at the front of the field then at the start of lap number 3. Brilliant stuff there for Takuma Miyazono. Now the Japanese driver is in front. Igor Fraga fancies a slice of the pie as well. He tries to go towards the outside there as Beauvoir blocks the line side by side with Hazal. Bit of contact between them as they rub bumpers going through in towards that first corner. Who's going to break latest? Beauvoir on the outside, Hazal in the middle. Fraga has a little bit of a look up the inside. Beauvoir was still with that favoured outside line, but Hazal's got track position. He's got the momentum, and for now at least he holds on to second position. But Fraga really, really close to trying to challenge for third place there. Wasn't quite able to make it through though. It's advantage to Takuma Miyazono as it stands, but you can guarantee that the lead is going to change hands before they get down to T1.
You almost don't want to be in the lead really coming onto the next lap, because this happens. Look, there's Mick Hazal behind, there's Baptiste Beauvoir, Igor Fraga. They've all got the draft, they've all got the overspeed on Takuma Miyazono. Baptiste Beauvoir has nowhere to go. He has to wait. He can't just smash his way through there. That's, of course, the steward's going to be a big slap on the wrist if you tried that. Mick Hazal will take the lead, but he has the draft again. Now he backed off again, picked it back up, and now he's got the overspeed. He's right on the rear wing of Mick Hazal. Look to the left, Igor Fraga. He goes round all of them, uses the toe from Takuma Miyazono, and now we're going to be 3 wide, almost 4 wide, coming down to the first corner. It's Hazal on the inside, Beauvoir in the middle, Fraga on the outside. Hazal's going to take the inside. Oh, Fraga turns it a bit early there. I think actually squeezed Mick a little bit, I think it's fair to say. No contact though. All's fair in love and racing, and Baptiste Beauvoir's going to make it 3-1. Guys, you've got a couple of laps left of that, come on.
Well, they're battling with each other. Look at that, Baptiste Beauvoir taking that advantage. Brilliant to see. Now he's got the outside line though, as they're going to flick it left. He's going to try and hold it round there. Fraga on the inside, Hazal in the middle of this sandwich. Miyazono keeps a watching brief as they come through, all running side by side. This is fantastically close racing. It's advantage Beauvoir as they flick it right then from Fraga, who gets himself into second position. They all slot into a line because it's very much one at a time through these S-bends. You can't run 3 wide through there, otherwise somebody would probably end up facing the wrong way.
There is Igor Fraga currently in third place, and look at the pack of cars there. They go all down to 14th place, all separated by about 1.5 seconds there. So you make one mistake and you're going to get shuffled down the pack. So it's all about choosing when to pounce, choosing when to make your move, because, as I said, one mistake and you're pretty much out of it.
Brilliant stuff. Look at that side by side with Andrew Brooks and Valerio Gallo there in the background, side by side for second position as well, with Hazal versus Igor Fraga. Beauvoir's been able to gap them as these three are now fighting for second position, and Miyazono does exactly what he did before. But here comes Jose Serrano to the party. We're going to try and go 4 wide, nearly 5 wide. Patrick Blagem, Valerio Gallo and Andrew Brooks also in and amongst the mix. Look at that smorgasbord of cars coming through the first corner. Brooks in the wall on the outside there through turn number 1. That's going to cost him time and momentum as he drops down towards the back of that pack. But how on earth they all made it through there, I'm not quite sure because they're all running so close to one another. It's getting very frantic. The final turn, up the inside goes the German driver and up into second position. Nicely done there for Hizal. Now he heads the front of this train. They've been able to close the gap down ever so slightly by a tenth of a second or so to the race leader of Baptiste Beauvoir. So nicely done there for these guys, but are they going to be in that crucial slipstreaming range to challenge for the race lead at the start of this next lap?
What I found interesting there is his own short shifts, I think, on purpose to drop back a little bit more to get a bigger slingshot on Hizal. So what he wants to do is slingshot past Hizal. Oh, a little bit late there, maybe a tiny bit of contact on the way through. It seems to have slowed him up a little bit, actually, which means that now they're not going to get the run. There's Igor Fraga. That's what the proper toe looks like. He goes flying up the inside, which will become the outside for T1, past Mierzona, and they're just about hanging with Baptiste Beauvoir. There's a leader right now. Penultimate lap as we come through. Here come the rest of the cars. We come up towards T1 for the 6th time. Hizal, Fraga, Gallo and Mierzona all separated by less than a tenth of a second as we come into T1. Hizal's got the outside line, Fraga on the inside, once again rolled reverse from a couple of laps ago. Fraga's got the ideal line now for T2, sorry, if he can keep it there. He will do. Hizal has the overspeed. He's going to run out of room though, a little bit of contact with the wall, but just about keeps the place.
Absolutely right, so let's see what's going to happen as they come down this start-finish straight then into the slipstream. You can see there the Baptiste Beauvoir with a 1.3 second advantage, but Hizal does not have that advantage and automatically ducks over to the right-hand side of the circuit as we look at it, because he is trying to break that toe from Igor Fraga and Valerio Gallo and Takuma Mierzona behind, but I don't think he's going to have anything in his power to hold the charge of these guys. So over the timing line we go then to start the final lap, and is Hizal going to be in second position by the first corner? You don't think so, because here comes Igor Fraga on the outside, pulls to the outside of the circuit, runs side by side, but he's got the overspeed, he's got track position, and now he's got second place. Here comes Valerio Gallo, fancying a slice of the action there as well. Very close indeed between them. Hizal knows that, goes towards the outside for turn number 1. Fraga on the inside, now Gallo into third position. Hizal as well gets duffed up by Takuma Mierzona through the first corner. Now it's 3 positions lost in the space of 1 corner there for Hizal.
Yeah, it just chose the wrong line there. Again, coming second, coming onto the last corner, and now 5th coming out the first one. It's just, you make one mistake, one bad position, and you get absolutely shuffled. But now it's every man for themselves as we're on the last lap of the race in the first race of the OVS.
Hizal goes for the outside line versus Takuma Mierzona. Is he going to go for a send on the outside, or is he going to try and set up his exit for the run to that start-finish line? Here comes Serrano, trying to send it down the inside of them both. Oh, lace on the brakes for Serrano, contacted to the back of Valerio Gallo. Chaos goes on behind, and that was very, very questionable there from Jose Serrano. Too late on the brakes. I imagine the stewards are going to be having a look at that one as we run to the timing line then. It's Baptiste Beauvoir with the advantage, with the race lead, and a brilliant drive from the Frenchman to take the honours in race number 1 of the Olympic Virtual Series motorsport event at the Tokyo Expressway. Beauvoir is on top in race 1.
OK， 第一场比赛结束。在这场贴身肉搏的比赛里，博瓦受益于后方的缠斗，可以说是轻取胜利。后方的小集团一直缠斗到冲线，差距都在毫厘之间。甘卫海泽尔仅名列第5，塞拉诺因鱼雷被罚5秒，排名直接掉到了队尾。不过他因为刷了最快圈，所以还有1分入账。第一场比赛后排名如下。好的，我们马上进入第2场比赛。这场比赛来到了意大利萨丁岛，赛道拥有一条大直道和丰富的技术型路段。比赛车辆是丰田雅力士 RZ 高性能款，必须使用中胎和硬胎，意味着这场比赛将有轮胎策略。排位赛中的成绩跟第一场惊人的相似，前5名几乎一模一样。但马上第一个惨剧发生了。巴西人弗拉加发生了网络问题，直接退赛了，夺冠热门就少了一个。接下来的比赛高光集锦，我们继续来听原声解说。
So Hizal leads the way, but look there on the inside as well. That is Angel Estrada looking very aggressive. Mierzona trying to go to the outside of Beauvoir through the first corner, but not quite able to make it stick. We ride on board then with Mierzona, but it's Hizal who leads from the front through the left-hander. Mierzona looking very aggressive indeed in third position on the back of the Frenchman. Not quite able to find his way past though as it stands.
Because worth remembering that these GR Yaris's, they are road cars on what are racing tyres, so not quite as stiffly set up, I should say, as the Group 4 car we were in before. So understeer is going to be a big thing in these cars. They are 4-wheel drive as well, so looking after those fronts, not scrubbing the front tyres. is going to be key to being quick at the end of the stint. Point of strategy here, of course, is that you do get a point for the fastest lap, and it's unlikely to go to anyone starting on the medium compound at the start because the fuel's going to come out over the course of the race. So if you're on that medium compound at the end, then you're probably going to end up with the fastest lap. Beauvoir now looking at the inside of Azal. There you go, move made. He waited for his chance, dived up the inside, took the place there from Mick Hazal, and now it's Baptiste Beauvoir of France back into the lead once again.
And as I say that, the top four then coming into the pit lane then, straight onto the hard compound of tyres at the halfway stage.
Well, that means now is the one to watch is Valerio Gallo. He is the leading hard tyre runner. So he is at the front of the second strategy, so to speak, the alternative strategy. Now, when will he pick? When will he come in and go for that medium compound tyre? Because I think any time from now is fine. In fact, I would have pitted him probably this lap if I was Valerio Gallo and tried to get that undercut myself and then just dealt with people at the end. It's easier to defend a position than it is to overtake on a hard compound. And watch for Gallo. I'm interested to see where they're going to be in relation to the front four that are out on circuit right now. So Gallo's come out of the pit, and there is Beauvoir, there's Hazal, just out ahead of the guys in the pit lane.
第一次进站前，第一集团通过轮胎优势拉开了差距。在选手悉数进站换胎后，他们领先后方3秒多。
Michael Hazal is pulling out of the slipstream once again, but this time he's going side by side with Baptiste Beauvoir for the race lead on the brakes into the first corner. Michael Hazal with absolute commitment on the outside there. Beauvoir has the inside line though. They go into the right-hander. Hazal still runs on the inside line, but they're going to flick it left, and here comes Takuma Miyazono, ready to join the party, so Hazal could be set to lose out here if he's not positioning his car correctly. Beauvoir back into the lead. Here comes Miyazono up the inside for second. Can he get through into P2? Yes, he certainly can. Patrick Blajan fancies a slice of the action as well, but it is still Baptiste Beauvoir then who leads on the penultimate lap from Takuma Miyazono, from Michael Hazal, from Patrick Blajan then. And this is the crucial thing, is that they're all playing nicely at the moment, but at some point the gloves are going to come off and they're going to start knocking 7 bells out of one another.
I think that will be on this lap coming up, probably, Tom, or the down to T1. Right now, Baptiste Beauvoir has the position. He is leading this race as he led the last race. Can he make it 2 wins in the Olympic Virtual Series? Takuma Miyazono is very much trying to make sure that doesn't happen behind him. The Japanese driver right on the back of Baptiste Beauvoir. And if either of these guys make a mistake, there are 2 drivers behind. Mick Hazal from Germany, Patrick Blajan from Hungary, both ready to take advantage if it's presented to them.
12 points on offer for the race win, points awarded all the way down to 10th position, but of course we've got the double points grand final coming up as we come towards the timing line then for the final time. So it's advantage to Baptiste Beauvoir as it stands, but Miyazono is going to be in the slipstream here. He's going to pull out for the race lead. Michael Hazal is keeping an eye on proceedings as they come over the crest of the hill then for the final time. Miyazono slots back into the slipstream, doesn't try and challenge, but here comes Hazal. Tries to get the long way around the outside then on the brakes. Beauvoir goes defensive. Miyazono versus Hazal, side by side for second, but not able to find a way past so far.
Always going to happen on the outside there. Miyazono is always going to drive it to the outside of the circuit. I'm actually surprised Hazal didn't lose the place to Blajan there, but the great run there by Mick Hazal. Again, tries the outside line. That didn't work before, Mick. Will it work this time? Trying to get the colour tender. No, it understeers. Those front tyres are past our best. Now Patrick Blajan is looking to try and get involved as well, but Baptiste Beauvoir still keeping the lead for now.
This is going to be an absolutely fantastic finish then here in this race. Race number 2 for the Olympic Virtual Series Motorsport event. It's going to go down to the wire. You can guarantee that because there are these 4 drivers who are all equal on pace and they are ready to try and challenge one another. Look in the mirrors there because Blajan's going to send it down the inside nearly then of Hazal as Miyazono tries to do the same with Beauvoir. There's a bit of contact into there. That sends Beauvoir onto the gravel. They run side by side. Hazal's going to go to the inside line then for the race lead. They're 3 wide into the left-hander. Hazal on the inside. Brilliant driving there from Michael Hazal. Blajan's through into second position here as well. Miyazono's on the inside. Beauvoir's down to 4th place from the race lead. And here comes Hazal then on the outside, but he's on the grass. That's going to cost him momentum. Beauvoir's down the inside once again for the race lead. Through into the left-hander. Blajan on the outside. Hazal's driving in there as well. Side by side with Miyazono as this contact. And somehow Baptiste Beauvoir wins race 2 of the Olympic Virtual Series Motorsport event. Blajan comes home second. Miyazono in third. Hazal gets 4th. What a phenomenal race and a fantastic final lap.
好的，比赛结束。虽然第一集团内部在持续缠斗，但进站换胎后，后方的中胎选手未能成功发动有效攻势。最终，博瓦在最后一圈的混战中再度拿下冠军。2场比赛后，他积24分，领先第2名9分之多。可以说，总冠军是志在必得。赛后采访里，他也坦言自己完全没有预料到这个结果。
I don't know. It's just crazy for me, actually. I didn't expect before the start of the competition that I will win the two first race, but I did it, so I guess I have to just be happy.
而这2场比赛的杆位获得者海泽尔都没能将杆位转化为好成绩，尤其是在最后几弯，他本来拥有明显优势，但路线选择的微小失误让他最后被身后数人生驰，仅列第4。我们来到最后一场比赛，这场比赛是双倍积分，赛道选择了 GTS 各项大赛中的老熟脸龙之境、海滨。玩过这条赛道的玩家肯定都知道，它拥有整个游戏中最臭名昭著的死亡之字弯，稍不留神就要被护墙收走。选用赛车则是在 GTS 中毫无争议的人权车丰田 GR Supra， 软中硬3套胎都必须使用的规则，也让这场比赛称得上是真正意义上的锦标赛赛制。在排位赛中，前2场连续夺杆的海泽尔遇到了来自加洛的强力挑战，最终加洛夺得杆位，海泽尔以 0.02 秒之差位列第2。在起步轮胎的选择上，杆位加洛选择了最稳妥的软胎，身后就五花八门了。正赛的发展一定会很有趣。好，比赛开始，大家几乎都选择了烧胎起步，没有开 TC。中胎起步的海泽尔情况不妙，被身后的公园和博瓦快速追近，并且并排。接下来的这个之字弯3车并排，他们保持了最大程度的干净动作。不过这样一争，杆位的加洛就跑远了。博瓦的赛车差点失控，不过仍然守在了第4。从第5名发车的捷克选手趁乱超到了第3。接下来在这个高速右弯，又一起惨剧发生了。博瓦冲出了赛道，彻底失去了对赛车的控制。回到赛道后又被其他选手影响，直接 spin 了。这对他来说完全是无妄之灾。从回放来看，是他身后的加拿大选手把他鱼雷了。虽然肇事者因此受罚，但在双倍积分的影响下，博瓦的冠军梦几乎已经破灭了。
I think that was Sirigaya who actually hit him. You can see the reaction from Baptiste Beauvoir.
好的，我们继续回来看比赛。
All the way down to the back of the field now, and he has it all to do. And this is double points. This is the worst possible outcome for lap 1 for Baptiste. 4 seconds off the back of the grid now.
A 5-second penalty there for Andrew Brooks. That'll be for the contact that we saw earlier on with Baptiste Beauvoir. So that's a disaster for the Canadian driver. He's going to have to serve that, and that is really going to compromise this grand final.
Bear in mind, behind Baptiste Beauvoir, the points are so close at the moment that whoever finishes first on track out of Gallo, Mierzona and Hizal will be our winner.
This is going to be exciting then, isn't it? I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to play out here, because we've still got 12 laps of this race remaining. We've still got strategy, we've got tyres coming into play here as well. And, well, it is going to be an exciting climax, I am sure, then, to this.
There's Mick Hizal. Oh, into the pit lane comes Mick Hizal. Valerio Gallo as well, opting to come into the pit lane as well. So Gallo's now going from soft to medium. Hizal going from medium to hard tyres. So we're probably going to see that gap open up a little bit between the two of them.
Here for Valerio Gallo, having made that pit stop, crucially, he's come out in some clean air. He's 6.9 seconds behind Baptiste Beauvoir. So whilst he is on that fresher compound of medium tyres as it stands at the moment, he can just set his own race, set his own lap times, and not worry too much about those who are in front of him are on different strategies.
And Angelina Stroza into the pits.
Andrew Brooks also getting himself through into 3rd position on Nikita Moisov in that final corner as well. So it's all going off into the last turn. The top 4 drivers then coming into the pit lane at the end of lap number 7. They go on to the hard tyres. Everybody but Takuma Miyazona, who goes soft to the mediums then. So he's going for a bit of a different strategy then here from the race lead as it stands. Where is Valerio Gallo going to emerge though? He comes back out of the the rest of the drivers come back out of the pit lane. Valerio Gallo with a clear advantage of 4.7, 4.8 seconds now it sits.
Now he's going to be using that tyre, I think, right till basically as long as he can use it. He has a hard tyre yet to come, which will be the slow tyre, and he wants to, as we said before, just use that clean air. That's the important
way through. Constantino, of course, on the softer compound of tyre, but they'll be a little bit more warm compared to the mediums. Miyazano's into the wall! He's into the wall at the chicane. That's a disaster there for the Japanese driver, and it allows Mikhail Hizal through into 2nd place. Well, big drama here then. A simple mistake from Miyazono through that chicane has cost him very dear. It's cost him 2nd place, it's cost him 3rd place. It's now going to cost him 4th place here, because Stroza is on the outside as they come through the final corner. He just manages to muscle out the Chilean driver, which brings Constantino into the foray here as well. Into the slipstream comes Constantino there, but here comes the Greek driver as he tries to pull out of it then and tries to challenge for 4th position. Stroza there ready to pounce as well. They're going to flick it right and then go hard on the brakes into the chicane. Is anybody going to Miyazono think about a move? No, they think better of it. But Miyazono there, well, one simple mistake caused a right chain reaction.
And that, if it finished as it was now, would drop him off the podium as well. So Takuma Miyazono there, that's a mistake we're not used to seeing from a Japanese driver. He is really feeling the pressure here today. Now we have one more pit stop left for everybody on circuit right now, so the real results are really going to reveal themselves in not too long a time.
Isn't it interesting how we've kind of got splinter groups in this race here? We've got nothing really going on at the front in terms of Valerio Gallo. He's away and clear with the fairies at the moment. But Hizal, Miyazono, Constantino all battling for second position in this race. Then you look down the road, Inestrosa, Serrano close together with one another. And then further down the order, we've got other drivers that are pretty close to each other as well. So it's just interesting to see how the difference in strategy just causes these groups to sort of splinter off with one another.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, it's all going to come together when we get our last pit stops becoming very soon. Constantino now looking to try and get past Miyazono. Looks to the inside there of the Japanese driver. Miyazono very firmly shuts the door. Hizao, of course, there trying to defend himself from Miyazono, who's gone up the inside. Would it be 2 places lost for Hizao in one corner? I think it will be. Constantino manages to get by as well. He's on the inside of Takuma Miyazono coming into the chicane. It's not usually Jura breath through here. He has to back out. That would have been a massive crash otherwise. I think that's a bit of a wise decision there by the Greek driver. And Miyazono finally takes back the place he lost after that incident earlier on. It just shows you how much time he lost there from hitting the wall.
Indeed, Hizao's going to come into the pit lane then. He's getting off of that hard competitive tyre and on to the soft competitive tyre for the closing stages in this race. Inestrosa and Serrano also following him into the pit lane here as they start lap number 12. Absolutely, third in race 1, 6th in race 2 for the Italian driver and sitting at the top of the pile as it stands so far. But he's going to come into the pit lane then at the end of lap 12 on to this final competitive tyre, the hard competitive tyre, the slowest competitive tyre. But where is he going to emerge in relation to the rest of the field? There's Valerio Gallo then. He's on the hard tyre to the end of this one, and that is going to be really horrible for him to know that the likes of Patrick Blaja and Mikael Hizal are only 6-7 seconds down the road, but they are on significantly quicker compounds of tyre, and crucially, they have got time to try and close that deficit down. But
so Mick Hizal on the soft compounder tyre, the faster compounder tyre, has just over 4 laps now to catch Valerio Gallo. 5 seconds the German driver has to make up. Here is the predicted points on screen. If things ended as they were, Valerio Gallo would be our winner of the Olympic Virtual Series, but Mick Hizal is charging.
经过了赛中的策略混战，一直到第14圈，比赛的形势终于明朗。加洛以硬胎领先后方使用软胎的海泽尔5秒，海泽尔有5圈的时间尝试追上并超越。两人在前2场比赛后的积分差只有1分。意味着谁赢得本场比赛的冠军，就将是最后的总冠军。
Let's see what is going to happen though with the race lead. 2.6 seconds. It now sits between Gallo and Mikael Hizal. This is going to be very close, and you can guarantee that Hizal, if he gets close enough, he's going to have a lunge.
He can see Gallo now, and that's part of the psychology that goes on. You can see the guy ahead. You're like, right, okay, I'm coming for you. This is going to be my position. 2.3 seconds now between Mick Hizal and Valerio Gallo. There's plenty of time for him to catch him, but we all know catching someone is one thing and getting by quite another, my friend.
Because it's now down to under 2 seconds for the first time for the race lead between Valerio Gallo and between Mikael Hizal. And the crucial question is, when is he going to pounce? It's not going to be a case of if, because you know he will, but when is he going to choose his moment to strike?
I can't believe this, Tom. The first ever Olympic Virtual Series, and it's going to come down to the last few laps between 2 of the best sim drivers in the world. Valerio Gallo, Mick Hizal chasing down the Italian driver, not because Valerio is slow, because he's on the hard compounder tyre. He doesn't have as much speed, but at the front of the field, here it is, less than a second now between Valerio Gallo and Mick Hizal. A lap and a half remains, and Mick has Valerio Gallo right in his sights. It's going to be one more lap. Look how much he gains in the braking zone. The advantage of a soft compounder tyre really showing now, but it's got to be perfect. There's still about a second between them.
Absolutely. Where is he going to go for that move between Valerio Gallo and between Mikael Hizal? Flicking it right, flicking it left through that chicane. This is where that soft tyre will have so much more grip underneath him, and you can see Hizal is just absolutely threading that eye of a needle through that chicane. The gap is now down to 0.8 of a second. We're coming through into the final lap between Gallo and Hizal. It's winner takes all stakes here.
There it is. There's Valerio Gallo. There's Mick Hizal, the 2019 Nations Cup champion. He is the champion for a reason, and he is now right on the back of Valerio Gallo, but I don't think he's close enough, Tom. It's only half a second now. He's realistically got 2 more chances, and there's just too much of a gap.
Absolutely. He needs a really, really good run through this left-hander and to send it on the brakes into the hairpin. hairpin there. He's using every inch of the track there. Is Mikael Hazal to find an opportunity to get close to Valerio Gallo? They're going to come very, very close into the hairpin and very close indeed into the chicane, because that is where the soft tyre will have more grip. Into the final corner is realistically where Mikael Hazal is surely going to strike for the win in the Olympic Virtual Series. It's Gallo versus Mikael Hazal. Winner takes all stakes. Into the chicane we go. It's deep from Mikael Hazal though. I'm sure he ran it a bit deep into there. He gets a good exit though. He's got the slipstream here. Hazal versus Gallo then for the win in the Olympic Virtual Series. Gallo goes defensive. Hazal goes to the outside into the final corner. Brilliantly close racing as they run side by side. Hazal's on the exit. He's onto the curb. Gallo is going to take the win in the Olympic Virtual Series. Absolutely fantastic driving. It's Valerio Gallo who becomes the winner of the 2021 Olympic Virtual Series. Phenomenal racing ahead of Mikael Hazal.
最终，加洛惊险获胜，成为了首届奥运电竞的总冠军。经过了这样一场比赛，这个冠军的含金量不小。赛后，他也非常激动。排位优异但无法复制到正赛的海泽尔最终获得了亚军，而最倒霉的博瓦遗憾名列第3。这里可以分享一个彩蛋，由于比赛在线上进行，没有办法现场颁奖。为了在比赛结束后立即举行仪式，赛事组委会事先给每个选手都寄了一个刻有他们名字的冠军奖杯。当然，最终只有加洛的奖杯是有意义的。好了，以上就是第1届奥运电竞的回顾。整体上，顶级选手的高水平竞争确实是赏心悦目。一方面，顶着屁股跟车，不同策略在赛道上的交织，展现出了赛车运动最核心的魅力。另一方面，奥运选手在高压下的失误，也体现出了这一最大规模电竞赛事的竞争强度。在不久后的6月25日，第2届奥运电竞的线下决赛即将到来。第1届的这些熟脸们，大多数都被新一代卷王替代，加洛、博瓦、弗拉加、宫原拓真等人都只能作弊上关。比赛肯定会有不少新鲜感。我会在我的 B 站直播间全程转播这次比赛，同时我也会前往新加坡现场感受这一赛事。让我们一起期待一场同样精彩刺激的顶级对决吧！我是欢乐仔 Racing Raymond， 我们新加坡见。